There is a huge myth in startups that somehow raising money improves the odds of success. Now, the truth is, that's complete nonsense. My name is Chris. I'm a six-time founder and investor, and I now research psychology to help founders not make the same mistakes I did. On a study over 15 years, tracking nearly 10,000 businesses, found that 44% of bootstrapped technology companies survived into their fifth year, compared to only 21% of VC-backed companies surviving into their fifth year. That is acknowledging, of course, that not every venture-backed company is the same as a bootstrapped business, because you operate and behave differently in many ways. But the issue isn't really about whether funding makes you more or less successful. The issue, and I'm trying to raise, is that many people believe that it makes you more successful. And the bias and problems that brings to founders cannot be overstated. So for example, the average time it takes from somebody who decides that they're going to raise money to actually closing an investment round is around 8 months. And the average first fundraise in the UK and Europe is around £190,000. So it's not a lot of money, arguably, for 8 months' work. And for most founders, when they're raising money, they are completely absent from building their business. And if they're not absent, they're usually making very poor decisions because they're so emotionally stressed in fight and flight due to their fundraise. So you can spend 8 months on average getting £190,000, or you could spend 8 months selling a product. So I'm not trying to put anybody off necessarily from fundraising. What I'm really trying to highlight is that many people raise money for the validation it brings them to have raised money. But this validation is a false fool's hope. It is not real. Twice as many bootstrap companies survive into their fifth year than venture-backed companies do. And most of the time when you're fundraising, you could make more money and build a more stable business just by selling stuff. Whether that's you doing side hustles or whether it's you developing a smaller product to sell to a slightly more niche audience just to get yourself along the way. Now, I am a fan of fundraising, but let's really think about what it is fundraising is for. Fundraising is about selling a piece of your future success for an impulse of resources in the short term. You need the ability to go very fast, very quickly. So if you can do your fundraise in a very quick amount of time, and I mean a couple of months, then that is a good trade-off in my personal opinion, so long as there is a competitive reason for you needing to move 10 times faster than you could do without the money. But if you can't justify that, if you're doing it because it's what every other founder does, if you're doing it simply because it makes you feel like somehow you are better at what you do than somebody who hasn't raised money, you need to look again, because over twice as many bootstrap founders will be more successful than you if you raise money.